Thank you very much, dear Stephanie, for the warm welcome, and good afternoon to all of you. It is truly a pleasure to be here with you today and to have indeed a physical audience in front of me, and of course also a big hello and a warm welcome to the 400 people which are joining us online. I hope that very soon the proportions will be inverted and that there will be 400 people again in this room and maybe 80 online, but you never know. So I'm really happy to be here with you today with this startup community which has really, in a very difficult year, done extremely well. We have seen, despite COVID-19 and despite all the slowdown that has brought with it, some new startups creating it themselves in the year of the pandemic. We have seen 50 new startups over the last year, and we have seen also a number of new measures and new supporting measures and even new incubators coming up in the last year. This shows the resilience of this community. This also shows the innovation that is in the Luxembourgish startup ecosystem. The Startup versus COVID-19 initiative is a perfect example of this resilience. Through this program, 15 startups have developed solutions aimed at alleviating or overcoming the health, economic, but also the social consequences of the pandemic. And I remember very well when we were in spring last year, during the first lockdown, everybody was pretty much panicking and asking themselves what would become of the economy, but also of the startups and the startup ecosystem. And I remember discussing with Sasha and also with my team at the Ministry of Economy what we could do not only to support startups, but also to use this creative power that is in this community to do something against COVID-19, which was back then even less known than it is now. So we decided to do a Fit for Start program specifically aimed at COVID-19, and we called it Startup versus COVID-19. This was one of several measures that we designed specifically towards the startup community, and I must say it was remarkably successful, with not only many startups reorienting their business model towards fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, but also many of them participating finally in this program. We had more than 200 applications, and we finally had about 15 to 20, if I remember well, startups that were selected for their very innovative ideas to fight COVID-19. We have, when we talk today about going to the next level for startups, it is always good to halt a little bit and to look back at the past year, to look back at what has been achieved and how it was done. We have come a long way, of course, since 1998, which was the date of the first incubator here in Luxembourg, the Technoport, the first publicly owned startup incubator, which is today, of course, a pillar of our ecosystem. And while looking back, I am satisfied to see that we now have a substantial community of more than 500 startups. The mapping done by Lux Innovation recently shows that they specialize in particular in 4 types of key technologies. It's firstly, big data and data science. Secondly, software and applications. Third, cybersecurity. And fourth, artificial intelligence. All 4 are, of course, backbones and absolutely crucial to the development of a data-driven, sustainable and competitive economy, which is, as you all know, the way we want to go in developing the Luxembourgish economy. The services and products developed by the startups are called upon by a wide range of sectors, but including, in particular, for up to 50% of the startups, the ICT sector, the fintech sector, and the health tech sector, all three of whom are, of course, very high on the list of our priorities when it comes to diversifying our economy. What is also very satisfying is that we see more and more promising young innovative companies that consider to drive their European expansion from Luxembourg and to develop their technology here. One major reason for this is that, in all modesty, the government support and business subsidies here in Luxembourg are better and more focused than in many other European countries. We also have a unique selling proposition as a small country, which is that startups benefit here from a very personal relationship, holistic support system, and accessible decision makers with a real commitment to facilitating business. The government is very strongly committed to supporting the ecosystem and wants to ensure a business climate where you all can flourish. For that purpose, we have put in place a wide range of organizations and initiatives that support startups and scale-ups, spanning from hands-on advice to R&D and innovation funding, events and networking initiatives, of whom I hope there will be more in the near future again, support with reaching international markets, and so on. In the early years, the public sector had the lead, but the private sector very soon followed suit. Today, Luxembourg has more than 15 incubators and accelerators, many of which are run by public-private partnerships. To support the development of startups, we are also consistently investing into our digital infrastructure. As a digital frontrunner, the country is well underway to become Europe's most trusted data hub. The most recent addition to this ecosystem is the high-performance computer Meluxina, which is designed to meet business needs, which makes it unique, and which is available for use not only by established and big companies, but also by SMEs and by startups. Today is also a special day because it marks the official launch of the Startup Luxembourg web platform. This tool has been developed by Lux Innovation to assist all of you who are part of Luxembourg's startup community. Now is the right time to accelerate the international promotion of Luxembourg as a startup hub, and that is one of the main objectives pursued with the creation of this platform, of which I will not tell more because this is the object of the speech that Sasha Bailey will give in a few moments. And finally, also, today is a very special day because we celebrate the startups that have successfully graduated from the 10th edition of Fit for Start, and we will discover the selected startups who will participate in the 11th edition, and I do look forward to their pitches, and please let me already congratulate all of them for their success. The acceleration program Fit for Start is, of course, one of our key instruments when it comes to supporting startups, and it has considerably helped raise Luxembourg's profile abroad. Since its launch in 2015, the program has received over 2,000 applications from startups created in more than 80 countries. The retrospective on the program will help us to take a step back and have a fruitful discussion about it. Dear entrepreneurs, I would finally like to take the opportunity to thank you all. You have all contributed to building this strong startup community, and I would like to thank you for your continued engagement. You are the actual engine that is driving our startup community forward. Your enthusiasm and success is an inspiration to others and a demonstration of Luxembourg's attractiveness as a startup location. This is the strength of our startup ecosystem. It is tight-knit, and all the different players work seamlessly together to guide startups to the right specialists for advice on every step of your journey. Altogether, we are now ready to enter the next level of development of our startup ecosystem. Thank you very much for your attention.